What is up, everybody? It's me. Shit, I pressed the button. Hybrid. I want to go back to reading the current book I'm on, Utter. And I'm doing a review of the Floating World Duology. Now, I'm almost done with the next book. So I finished the book after this, after these two books. But I'm almost finished with the book after that. So I think within like a week or two, you'll have the next, your next dose of slop. Um, Now, just to preface, Pink asked me to, and I quote, commit to drawing a slightly erotic fan art of your favorite character at the end. There's a couple problems with that. I did not do that for this book, and I don't think I'm gonna do it for the next series. Unless I am da, 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 da. Unless I have free time, like a lot of free time. But there's a couple problems I have with doing that for this series specifically. Even though I did say I'd do it for any fantasy series, is these characters are teenagers. I'm in my mid 20s. I'm not doing that, and I'm not drawing any erotica or anything erotic or whatever. And there's a way more important reason why I'm not doing that, and it should become very apparent at the end. And by the way, I didn't do any dry runs for this, so if this is like really bad, worse than normal, that's probably why. But yeah, I'm reviewing two different books. One is The Floating World, second's Demon in the Light. Both these will be reviewed and ranked separately. So if there is, I'm not going to be doing them as a whole. So if one of them is I think is way worse than the other, they're not going to get fucking ranked together. But here's a synopsis if you want to read it. But I, so pause it. I'm not going to go over this. But really, this follows two people, Sunho and Ren. And both of the characters, the POV will switch between like 3, 4, 5 chapters of Sunho's POV. And then we'll do 3, 4, 5 chapters of Ren's POV and switch back and forth. And sometimes there are occasional side characters getting a chapter or two. But I don't think it really takes away from anything. I think it's cool. But I followed Sunho and Red. Sunho was a child soldier who was kind of just pressed into the military, and in the last 2 years, he lost all of his memories, or he lost all of his memories 2 years ago. So he only remembers like from then to now. But he does know that he was a child soldier, and he knows he had a brother, and he just doesn't know where his brother went. So he's looking for his brother, and getting money on the side as a bounty hunter, and hopefully traveling across places to see if anyone's seen anyone that looks like him. And then there is Ren, who ends up being a runaway princess, and she's adopted by a circus troupe, and kind of just grows up in that world. And after after her circus troupe gets attacked by a demon, um, and her adoptive brother gets poisoned, she goes on a quest of sorts to find where it came from and hopefully find a cure for the poisoning. Now, there are a couple genres. This is in the fantasy genre, and it's also in the romance genre. It is genre, which I'm fine with. The one genre I'm not too sure about is young adult. I looked it up, and it's like for teenagers. So I'm not in the age demographic for these books, and that wasn't really something I even saw until I got these books. But you know what? Since this is a kind of odd book for me to grab, I would think um we're gonna play a game. I technically already showed you one of the options, but I'm gonna put a few options on screen, and I'm gonna let you guess, or I'll tell you the options, but I'm gonna let you guess as to why I got this book. Uh, so the first option is I saw amazing recommendations, just absolutely glowing reviews online, and I decided to get these books after those reviews. The second one is that I really like the author. I've seen her previous work, and I decided, you know what? Let me grab this fucking book. Let me grab these books. And then the third one is the book synopses were that fucking good that I just had to get the books. Now I'm gonna give you a few seconds. Just think it over. Really think it over hard. There's I'll give you 5 seconds. So that wasn't 5 seconds, but I'm too lazy to wait any longer. So if you picked any of the three that I just listed, you're completely fucking wrong. I never looked at any of the recommendations. I didn't know who the author was before I got the book. I did not even read the synopses before before I bought these books. So I didn't know anything about these books before I actually bought them. So you might be thinking, why the fuck would you get two books in a series if you have no clue what the fuck they're about? And that's a really good question. Uh, so I'm I think real quick I have to tell you how I found these, which was it was me doom scrolling on Instagram, and the first time I saw them I didn't really think it was just a picture of the covers, which you saw at the very beginning, and I didn't really think of anything of it, and I saw it two, three, four, 5 times throughout the week, and eventually I realized that the covers looked really familiar, not the actual pictures, but the style of the pictures or the style of the art looked really familiar. And so I spent like 20, 30 minutes looking who did the cover art. And it just so happened that one of my favorite artists online actually did the cover art. And I was going to show his like Instagram or Twitter page, but one, it kept telling me to log in, and two, I think some of his recent pieces have like half naked women, which I'm not. If you're watching this in public, or at work, or really anywhere, I'm not gonna show that. Even if it was like fucking half naked dudes, I'm not. I'd feel uncomfortable doing that in public. I'm not. I'm not gonna make anyone else go through that. But I really like this guy's art, and so I grabbed like one or two pictures from his art pieces. They're low res because I'm too lazy to buy this fucking like Patreon. Just $5, but he's like one of three artists that I like really like, and I would actually just straight up buy a book for, just for the cover art. I don't see the other two doing it because one's a comic book artist and the other one draws either Frieren or a character from Genshin Impact exclusively. So I think I'm safe. I don't think this is ever going to happen again. This was like a one-off thing, but I really like this guy's art. He's probably my favorite artist, and that's the only reason as to why I actually got this book. Or got these books. Um, but moving on to the book. So I'm gonna first again talk about the floating world, and then I'll move on to the what the fuck's the name of the other one? Demon in the Light. Yeah. So what did I actually enjoy about this book? Really, before I start actually talking about what I liked, I suck at giving like compliments or noticing why I enjoy something. So if these seem like really short and the I guess dislikes page seems like really long, that's just because I fucking suck at giving compliments for these things. It's not that I hate the book per se, and I think you probably should have noticed that with a few of my other reviews, with the longer ones being the ones where I just like the books. But yeah. So moving on, what did I actually enjoy about this book? I like the visuals and how certain creatures and places were described in particular demons. There's I think one at the start where it's over a valley, and then there's one at the I think mid part of the book that happens on a place called Sirawan. It's very Korean inspired. Um, but there's one that happens on a bridge, and those two were like very memorable moments for me because because I think the descriptions of everything was was like extremely good. But I did also enjoy it, and I can't think of any other book that really did this. And I'm sure, I could be misremembering because I never. Oh, oh, shit. By the way, I know I didn't do this. I didn't say this earlier. I probably should have. These are the first two books out of all of the ones I've read that I like took notes on. So everything else all the other reviews I've done so far have been books where I haven't taken any notes and they're just going based off memory after I've read the book. This is going off notes and I think a little bit of memory, but um, but yeah. So I think all future ones should have notes, should be going off notes and not memory. But yeah, um, but I don't think any of the other books did this, or at least they didn't do it. So I don't think blatantly is the word, but it does throw a lot of questions at you and keeps you engaged about the world and the people. And it will gradually answer them as it keeps throwing questions at you. So it keeps you. I At least for me, it kept me interested throughout. Um, Even if some of the bad stuff I you know was kind of disinterested with. Um, the I don't know if there's no, it's not. I very much enjoyed the world building in relation to the military and the military junta thing that is going on with the nation that they're living in, which is Serenia. And if you don't know what a military junta, I don't know how to type this out, but it's like military commanders control the government, and I didn't want to write it out, but I did enjoy some of the world building related to those, and I'm not going to say I wish they did more of it, but it would have been cool, I think, to see more of it. And oh fuck, I think it's like it's like 5 a.m. at the time of recording this for Pink, so I can't get his opinion. I was supposed to get his opinion on some of this stuff. So Pink, if you have anything to say, put it in the comments, and then people can go read them. I'm sure you've already putting 10 comments by now. You've already put 10 comments by now. I can't speak. But yeah, I enjoyed the world building related to the military and the military government. That's probably a way to say better way to say it. And again, I suck at compliments, um, or I suck at noticing shit I like. So I think I've put this on other books, and it makes me feel like I don't know. It may seem like I'm just fucking completely disinterested when I give something like this, but I do think all the characters are very easily distinguishable. At least Sunho and Ren do have like different voices, so they do both sound like different people as opposed to just same person talking the entire time. But that's it for what I enjoyed about the book. Now I'm going to talk about things I dislike. I had to put hate because I needed to put a picture here. So now again, this is the first book I've taken notes on, but so instead of going purely off memory, so there are going to be more points of why I disliked a book. Um, the first point is the in yeah. So the first point is the main antagonist doesn't really seem like a character, and there are a few side characters that show up. Commander Sue. Um, Fuck, I don't even know that bitch's name. Jael's sidekick, whatever the fuck her name is. They're usually described with like one or two sentences, and then they'll have like one or two speaking. And I think officially they play like really important parts of the story, but I genuinely can't remember anything about them. I can't really remember anything about the main antagonist other than some specific features in relation to the main characters. And I really don't know what the fuck his goals were. Whether it was just power for power's sake or power for whatever. Because he's sure as shit not doing it for his fucking family. So I don't really know what his goals were, and I do wish they would have actually. Not saying they need to make him relatable at all, but actually give me a reason as to why he's doing what he's doing. Now, a lot of these are actually in relation to the romance part. So there's, I think, two or three, and they might sound redundant. They probably are. I wrote this all in like one sitting, and I was kind of like scatterbrained because my notes are all over the place. But yeah, a lot of these will just be about the relationship, so it might seem redundant. But there are a few moments I think throughout, and this might seem this is probably more nitpicky, um, where Sunho sounds like extremely manipulative, and he wants to get in Ren's pants as quick as fucking possible. Um, and it's really exclusively dialogue between them, and not like his thoughts. But there's one section where Sunho is talking to his to Ren about one of Ren's childhood friends that she just met, and he's kind of a minor antagonist, and he's doing it because he cares about Ren and he wants her to get the fuck out of here, but he's doing it in a way that's probably not the best for Ren. And Sunho says it like, I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do here, but it really sounded like he was just trying to get in there. But he says he hurt you. I would never hurt you, and it's like I've never heard anyone say that where they didn't either want to get in someone's pants or fucking like separate them from their family and friends just so like you can trust me. I'm the only one you can trust. I would never hurt you. Rely solely on me because I would never hurt you. It sounds like that. It's really fucking bad. And some of the dialogue between them, and obviously they're teenagers, so I mean, I guess you can sort of say, give a reason as to why the dialogue so between them is like actually revolting sometimes. Revolting in a way that just like hurts you, not disgusting. Uh, but fuck, some of the dialogue fucking sucks, and that was one of them. And those are two actual quotes from Sunho. They weren't like directly next to each other, but they were on the same page. Uh, Now, this is more of a kind of bigger thing. And at least for me, this is probably the most important part of the book, or the biggest problem that I have with the book is that it is a romance between Ren and Sunho, and this book takes place over like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and their entire relationship just feels fucking rushed, and it really just doesn't seem authentic or meaningful, or it doesn't feel like it's going to last. It feels like someone you have a crush on in high school, you get with for a week or two, for maybe for a few months, and then at the end of the semester, you just kind of never talk again. That's what it feels like. It feels like something that's going to be extremely short. Um, and I think one way that the author could have actually changed this is just having more moments where they're actually building a connection and they're actually relying on each other and they're just being kind to each other instead of acting like fucking like a high school couple, where they're like fucking kissing and touching each other in a hall and then asking, "What are we?" It's like, bitch, you're kissing each other. You should know. Well, we haven't talked about that yet. Fucking talk about it. But I'm sorry if I was loud, uh, but yeah, I mean, I think towards the beginning, when you don't really know what their powers are, what their powers are based off of, because both of them are unique and special, and they both have like unique powers. Um, and you don't really know that they're based off of their emotions, both of them. So I don't know why the author wrote it like this, but at the very start, it really seemed that they were only getting near each other, or they only liked being near each other because both their powers were like chilled the fuck out. So it felt more like they have to be near each other, otherwise shit's gonna go wrong, and that kind of forces them together instead of them actually wanting to be together, um, because they actually like each other. But that, I mean, it was just weird kind of writing with that made me think that it wasn't them liking each other. That it was just like their powers not going off when they're near each other. I don't know. Like their powers are fucking linked or some shit, and not them caring. I've said that 10 times. Holy shit! I'm just like the book. Um, also, also, big thing is their relationship. The way it's described, their pasts, the way their pasts are described, is it really seemed inevitable. Um, I said that Sunho had was a amnesiac. He didn't have any memories or of anyone other than his brother. I think he. I want to say they're. I'll say they're 16 to 18. So he didn't know anything. Let's say he's 18. He didn't know anything from when he was a child to 16 years old. So he has no ties to anyone. He has no ties to any place or really anything. And so I think the first person you see where you actually trust him, you're going to like go fucking deep into it. Even because you want someone to lean on, and it just so happens that the person you're leaning on is also in the same fucking boat as you, where she doesn't have any relationships with anyone. She tries to stay as far away. I mean, the only people she actually has a relationship with are the people in her circus troupe, and the only guy that's like near her age, as far as I know, that's mentioned in the book, is her adoptive brother. So she has like more of a familial love rather than an actual love, uh, romantic love in that sense. So it's like neither one of them have been in a relationship. Neither one of them have fucking are both of them are alone in the world, and they're both like stuck with each other. So it's like, what the fuck else is gonna happen? And on top of that, I mean, like, I I don't know. I would have enjoyed if one of them maybe had. I'm not gonna say I need like a fucking love triangle or anything, but if one of them actually had experience with this, or you know knew what the fuck was going on, at least they experienced it with someone else, maybe it would have felt more genuine, or like it more like it's gonna last, instead of them falling completely head over heels in love within a week, when they barely do anything for each other. And really, really, the only time they ever compliment each other, or there's a note of Ren to Sunho, or Sunho to Ren, is, and this happens more with Ren to Sunho, is like, oh my god, he's so fucking hot. He's so hot. And I don't know why, but that's not just Ren. That's like fucking every girl um, that sees Sunho is like, oh my god, he's so hot, or she's so hot. It's like, is there anything else to their characters other than their fucking like faces and bodies? What are we doing? Uh, but yeah, I mean, I would have really just enjoyed this entire thing take longer than a week. There's more events that actually help build the relationship, and you know, I think probably what would have been the biggest thing is you make them slightly older and you give them more experience, so it doesn't feel like they're just going to jump into a relationship, find out, holy shit, this person's not really for me, or this relationship is just not for me, and then they fucking fall out of love 5 years, after they've had 3 kids, and he's like, oh, and Tsuno's like, ah, fuck, I hate this bitch. I don't know. Um, now this one is, I don't think there's particularly any. Eh, all the inconsistencies throughout this book are kind of smaller ones, and they're not ones that are all connected, and they're not anything that's too big, but they do kind of. For me, it showed like a lack of thought put into these. Um, Now I do have a bunch of examples. Wait, let me see how many examples. I think I got like 4 or 5. So the first one, the first one is between Sunho and another guy named Tag, and Sunho is living in the underworld and basically what it is, it's like a mining town slums. It really, the entire thing are slums. And I think by this point he remembers some of his childhood, and he remembers that he actually just genuinely lived in slums when he was growing up. But Sunho and Tag have that in common. We're both from the slums. But he lives next door to a single mom and her child, and she gets evicted. I think she gets sold off into, sex. She gets sex trafficked, and her son gets thrown into some fighting pits. But they decide, let's go get the son, and then hopefully we can find someone to go help find the mom. But um, but they're all from the slums, and at some point after they get the kid, uh, Tag says to Sunho and Huta, which is the kid they just saved, that people like them, people from the slums, have to stick together. Now, the thing that I didn't tell you is that when they went down to this gang that where Huta was being fucking thrown into the fighting pits, there were tens, probably hundreds of people in Huta's position that are from the slums that are like fucking trafficked there. There are hundreds of kids from the slums, and they're like, oh, us slum kids gotta stick together. What about the other ones? What about the ones you just fucking left there to go fight? It's and this is something that I've seen with the first book and the second book, is that they don't care. They'll see injustices and bad things that happen and make note of it, and they'll be like, oh, someone's got to change that, or we should really change that. And then when they turn around and they don't see it, they don't care anymore. They genuinely don't give a flying fuck about them. Like, holy shit, we got to save this kid from the slums. Those other kids, I don't know them. I'm not saving them. Who fucking cares? What do you mean? The next thing was, and this is a quote, and it's not something that's particular to this book, but it is something that's kind of, I think, particular in all, I would say, fantasy media, or really any media that has swords or anything. But it's a curved sword was on the desk, but it looked heavy, and she didn't think she could wield it effectively. Now this is Ren talking about, she's captured. She sees a sword on the desk. She's like, oh man, I should really fight back, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can lift it, and I don't think I can wield it effectively. Take out but it looked heavy, and just say she couldn't. She didn't think she could wield it effectively, because I don't know what the fuck it is with people. Swords are not heavy. There are max, like, I think even two-handed swords, there's fucking long swords, Zweihanders, shit like that, are like 5-6 kilos or something like that. And I want to say that the heaviest one-handed sword is, I think it's like a rapier. I think it's actually a rapier, because the fucking, it depends on the type, but it's like 2.5 kilos or something like that. Or no, I think it's actually more towards 6 kilos or some shit. It depends on, or 5 kilos. It depends on the hilt, but it's like, usually they're around 5 pounds, or 2.5 kilos. They are not heavy, like, at all, and it's that much spread throughout an entire blade. They're not fucking heavy. What are we talking about? They're heavy. They're not. The swords aren't heavy, unless you're like in an actual fantasy world where you just have fucking Guts sword, or Berserk from Guts. Yeah, but I don't know. It's stupid. I fucking hate it. It's not something specific to this book, but it's just something in general. Now, moving on, there is one event with Ren where she is. Sorry if I'm lip smacking, and my mouth is really dry. But there is an event with Ren. At this point, she's an enemy to the state, with the military command leadership, and so she is getting hunted, and she is with a different character, Yurhee, Yurhee. I can't fucking pronounce it. But I don't know. I swear to God, she knows this by now. But Yuri's a fucking terrorist, and Ren's an enemy of the state. But she's like, oh, why doesn't Yuri turn me in? Why doesn't Yuri turn me in? And I think by this point, Yuri tells her, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna bomb the floating world. I'm gonna bomb a bunch of facilities on the underside of the floating world. Why doesn't she turn me in? She's a fucking terrorist. She's a terrorist. What are you talking about? I don't know. It's why wouldn't this terrorist turn me in? I'm an enemy of the state. No shit. Oh fuck. Really fucking think about it. I swear to God, at that point, she does know Yuri's a terrorist, or she's going to commit, those type of acts. So it really just doesn't make any fucking sense. Um, Now there was a part at the end of the book, where she is able to get, Ren is able to get in a position of I guess dominance against the military general, the guy in control of the government, and she says that if she kills him, she'd be no better than he was. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I genuinely don't. If you do not kill throughout your entire time, and you say you do not want to kill, for whatever reason, that's fine. I'm perfectly acceptable with that. But I swear to God, I'm 90% sure I didn't take a specific note about this. But she killed a guy, like just straight up killed a guy earlier in the book, like halfway through the book. And it wasn't a demon. It wasn't a demon because demons are like people, but they're not people. It was just like straight up just a guy. I swear to God, she fucking kills someone. And she's like, I'd be no better than him if I kill him. It's like, bitch, you've already killed someone, and it was someone completely fucking. I guess in the context of the events of the story, meaningless. You just fucking straight kill someone, but it's my morals won't allow me to kill this guy that's uh, attacked my loved ones and threatens to kill me and them, and it's like he's genuinely making life worse for all of you. Just fucking kill him. But I mean, if if I'm wrong, if she didn't kill anyone earlier in the book, moot point. It doesn't actually, you know that's not a complaint then. So take that with like a giant grain of salt. And then the last one is Sunho goes on his quest. He's bought, or someone gives him a quest. He's like, hey, I'll give you information on the whereabouts of your brother. If you go and capture this girl and bring her back, capture this girl and bring her back to me. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll go do that. And he goes, meets Ren, and they go back to the underworld. And it's about a week. I genuinely think I was like keeping note of the time in my notes, and I think it was actually just a week. And he goes back, and his landlord's like, "Hey, you haven't paid rent, but I'm kind of scared of you. You're like a mercenary. You have a sword. You know how to use it. I I don't want to throw your shit out in case you fucking cut me." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." And I swear to God, he pays his rent. He pays his fucking rent, and then he goes and saves the kid, his neighbor's kid, from the fucking fighting pits, and that takes about 3 days. In that span of time, his landlord fucking throws his shit out on the street. Like, I didn't want to throw your shit out. You've been gone for a week. You didn't pay your rent. I'm gonna throw your shit out in fucking 3 days. How the fuck dare you not pay your rent in 3 days? What? I swear to God, he paid his rent between. If he didn't, I mean, I guess I can understand, but fuck, man. Um, yeah. So again, certain dialogue in the book between characters, and I really didn't notice anything between. I want to think. There might have been one or two lines between a couple of the side characters, but usually, if there's any dialogue in this book that is like extremely painful to read, it is between Ren and Sunho. And I don't know how to explain it, but I was reading it, and the second last chapter of the book like had me in physical pain. I would read 3 lines, close the book, and just like I had to go and take a walk around my fucking house because it genuinely hurt. And I think at that point I skimmed through that entire chapter because I could not fucking read it. It was like too sappy, maybe. I don't know. I don't I don't know if it's like sappy or corny or whatever, but it was like just high school romance bullshit, and it fucking sucked. It really sucked. Um, yeah, it would be like, oh, what are we? Oh, we haven't discussed that yet. And then they're like fucking just kissing, tonguing each other's mouths. Oh, what are we? Ah, it's like you're sticking tongues down each other's fucking throats. You should know by now. Um, now I said the descriptions for each of the characters are about events and creatures was really good. Description descriptors for people's emotions fucking sucked, and that's not a finished sentence. Um, don't read don't read that. But real so anytime anyone's embarrassed, it uses like one or two ways to describe it. And usually it's between Ren and Sunho, and it's her cheeks felt hot. She blushed. And I think the and that happens so often throughout the book. But I think the best way I saw it actually explained was she turned her head to hide her blushing face. That is almost good. That is almost a great way to actually describe someone's emotions. But and I know I gave praise to the King in Yellow for actually describing emotions really well. And when I say that I don't I think I said it during that, but when emotions are described, I want to see an action associated with the emotions. So if someone's blushing, have them turn their head, but don't fucking tell me that she's blushing. Like if Sunho says something that's like, "Hey, I want to get in your pants," and then she fucking blushes, just tell me she turns her head. I can use context clues because I'm not fucking stupid to figure out that she's blushing, that she's shy, that she's embarrassed. Just give an action. Just give actions, and I can figure it out. Um, there's also, and it's not so bad with this book as it is with the second book. Anytime anyone's shocked, and excuse me, anytime any female characters are shocked, the author uses one word to describe people shocked. The male characters, I think it happened once with Sunho, or once or twice with Sunho, but it was never used again. It was exclusively used for female characters, not male ones. Um, and that was Ren or Yuri. Yuri gaped. Sorry, Ren or Yuri gaped. Now, that's not a particularly bad sentence. But Swag, my resident like fucking Gooner expert, I'm not even sure how we got on the topic of this or what the fuck brought it up. He told me what gaped means, and I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't want to. But if you really really want to look it up, go look it up on Urban Dictionary. What to be gaped means. But I don't know why, but the women, it happens a lot, and I wasn't thinking about them being like fucking shocked. I was thinking, oh, I was thinking about the fucking Swag Gooner Brain thing. So, but this happens way, way, way more in book two than book one, and it was really bad. It got really bad. Um, and then final one. This is I guess more nitpicky, but there were very few, some like I say some, I mean like some, like 3 or 4 events or locations that were explained oddly, and not in a way that would make me think, it's I'm just fucking confused, but it was like extremely redundant. And I'm just gonna read this straight up, and then I'm gonna break it down. And this is a actual quote. I haven't changed anything about this. The River Nocturne was actually the most direct route between Sirawan and the underworld. From the underworld is entirely upriver. That wasn't the case from Sierra One. So what this tells me, they're in Sierra One. The river that they're at is the most direct route between Sierra One and the underworld. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say if that's the most direct route, Sierra One is upstream, and the river runs down to the underworld. The River Nachin was actually the most direct route between Sierra One and the underworld. Perfect explanation. Why the fuck does it continue with from the underworld? It was entirely upriver. I already know that if that's the most direct route. Why would they fucking get a boat and then row up a river to go to the underworld? What? And then it says that wasn't the case from Sierra One. I know! You told me 2 fucking times before! Why do you keep explaining? Some of these, it will keep doing this. It's like extremely redundant with the explanations. And, you know, I don't know. It does that. Like, just tell me. Just tell me it's the most direct route. They're going to, and then I can say, oh shit, okay, they're going to take the river. Don't tell me the same thing in this is the same thing in 2 different sentences. This is 2 sentences that says the same thing 3 times. How? Like, just tell me once and I can understand. But I understand that I'm, you know, I guess smarter than the average reader, since this is for teenagers, but yeah. Oh, okay. I forgot I had this. Um Yeah, so there were some quotes that I pulled out of the book, and these are quotes that I really liked. One of them is something. One of them is cool. But my favorite quotes, there's 2 of them. There's weevils in my rice. I don't know any context past this. I completely forget, but there are certainly weevils in that guy's rice, and they might be big weevils. Yeah, you guys probably not gonna get that. It's kind of highbrow humor, but so there's weevils in my rice is the first quote that I really liked. The second quote that I really liked is he was about twice the size of Sunho in height and girth. The way that's written, it makes him sound like they're doing a dick comp, they're sizing each other's fucking dicks up. Why is it written like this? Just tell me the guy was fucking huge. You know what? Actually, that also sounds like a dick comparison. It's this looks like a dick measuring competition. They both whipped out the dicks, and this guy he has some crazy height and crazy girth to his wiener. Just tell me the guy was like as big as a fucking mountain. I could understand that he's fucking massive. So, but yeah, moving on. Um, so you already know about the book rankings. I'm not gonna go through this. I know I go through it every time. I'm thinking about. I'm just gonna have the book rankings up here, and then I'll change it when I add a new book. But House of Leaves, Cyberpunk. I told you this are gonna switch between, kind of just because I'm not too sure as to which one I like more. But you know, and as always, even though I didn't put it in like the last 2, there's the recommendation line, or the first like 2. So there's a recommendation line. Anything under that line, I don't recommend. Anything above the line, I think it's good. So you might be thinking, wow, you had a lot of negatives about the floating world. You must have not liked it. Actually, I thought it was about on par with Project Hail Mary. I liked it just about the same. I had the same amount of enjoyment. I think for this book, there was slightly more of me groaning or having a physical, like visceral reaction to the writing. And that was certainly more than Project Hail Mary. But I think overall, I had about a similar level of enjoyment. And the reason why it's above King in Yellow is because some of those stories in King in Yellow really piss me off. So even though there's a few good stories, some of the stories fucking piss me off. So we'll just move on. Now, Again, I'm not doing the series as a whole. These will be two individual ones. Um, Demon in the Light, book two. Let's do this. So what did I think the book did well? And I'm not for this. I'm not going to give a synopsis because I think if for whatever reason you really do want to read this book or read the book before, it's spoilers. Um, but what did I think this book did well? Actually, I think the motivation for the antagonist it is beaten over your head about 20 times why he does what he does. But I do think it's actually meaningful when I know what the fuck what he's doing and why he's doing it. It makes sense. Um, I think like in the first book, the descriptions of places and events are overall good. And finally, I genuinely had no notes going over anything good from this book. These are ones that I just kind of remembered. I thought I thought of. So that should tell you something about the quality of this book, or what I think the quality of this book is. Before I go into the negatives, I do have a couple notes that I wasn't really able to throw into the negative spot. And I remember this one particularly because it's like the very first sentence of the book, where I don't know if it's Ren or what's happening, but there is a bird that's going jumping around and chirping and stuff. It's the thrush, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with diseases names in English, but thrush is an oral infection. And anytime I saw the word thrush, I would just think of the oral infection. I think it's a fungus, a fungal infection of the mouth and throat. So I, oh, there's a fucking thrush jumping around. The fucking oral infection. Yeah, okay. And then I don't even know the context for this one. Um, what the fuck? You didn't hear that. I too am envious of people who have crow followers. I do remember some guy had a bunch of crows around him, and then someone was like, "Oh, dude, that's it's sick," I don't fucking know. But yeah, that's a quote from my notes. I don't know what the fuck the context was behind this. I think it was just a joke I was making, but it is definitely in context of what I was reading in the book. So I have no clue. Now, time to talk about things I didn't like. This one will be, I think, a bit longer, possibly, maybe. Um, as there are more points. I think that a lot of the decisions made by characters uh, make no fucking sense, and the world building that this book did somehow fucked the world more than if the book didn't exist. I genuinely think this entire book, 400 pages, could be boiled down to 75 to 100 and just slapped onto the back of the previous book, and that it would have been perfect. I don't think this book is necessary, like, at all. I think generally this book is a waste of ink. Um, so I have a bunch of different points. So Ren at the she at the end of the book, book one, she's recognized as the princess of Serenia, and she's being taken to the floating world. Uh, but she has zero fucking guards. It's like a skeleton crew that is taking her to the floating world, and you think, holy shit, our princess is back after 10, 12 years. We need to get her back. No, it's she's getting on an airship. There's two other airships that don't really fucking do anything. And what happens when she gets on the airship? They get attacked and she almost gets killed. Yeah, man. Great fucking idea. Holy shit, we found the princess. Let's not give her any fucking guards. Um, and there are next one is there are a bunch of murders that happen in and around sewers. I think it's actually two. There's two specific ones where a body gets completely like fucking mangled and ripped to shreds, and it's brought up in this book. And I think this book takes place like 1 or 2 weeks after, or at least the event of this takes place 1 or 2 weeks after. And the guy that's like running the investigation, he is said to be like extremely pragmatic, extremely smart, blah 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 blah. Um, he's extremely pragmatic and extremely intelligent. For whatever fucking reason, these murders happen, and then it's not until 1 or 2 weeks later that they decide, hey, maybe we should check the area at around these murders. Like these murders took place around sewers. Where's the first place we'd fucking check? Probably the sewers. Nope, takes 2 fucking weeks to figure that one out. Good shit, guy. You're really fucking smart until you need to be fucking dumb as a bag of fucking rocks. Uh, the next one, again, this is what I mean. Like, the world is fucked by this book. Serenia is an empire at this point. It is one nation that has taken over hundreds of small different nation states or city states, going up to Volmar, and Serenia is at war with Volmar. But the thing is Serenia is made up of the floating world, the underworld, and maybe 20 villages outside of that like general vicinity. And it's said that they all had about a few hundred people each. That's like not even 10,000 people in the entirety of Serenia. And they just conquered hundreds of city states, and that's where they get all their fucking. I don't even think it was city states. I think it was just like tiny kingdoms. They conquered all of that with like 10,000 people, and the city states didn't. The nation states, little tiny kingdoms, didn't come together and say, "Let's fight the fuck back." They're not even magic. Like, Serenia doesn't have any fucking magic outside of Ren. She's the only magical person within the entire fucking nation. How? And all their soldiers come from the populations of these nation states that they conquered. So it's like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that you're going to have a small fucking nation, barely any population, conquer hundreds of little tiny kingdoms, and then have those and get populations to fill your armies to conquer more of those nation states. Like, you just band together, guys. I don't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, at this point, there's a big revolution. At the end of book one, there's a huge revelation with Sunho in his past and why he was an amnesiac. Sorry, I can't speak. And at the end of that, he kind of loses control, and his powers are on the fritz. He cannot trust himself anywhere fucking near Ren because it makes his powers want to flare up, and his powers make him want to. The way I understood it at the start of the book was that the more he loved someone, the more like stronger an emotion he felt towards someone, the stronger the emotion that the demon side of him, the super evil side of him, wanted to just like fucking kill that person. So if he loved Ren, the more he loved Ren, the more his other half wanted to fucking kill her. So he is, for obvious reasons, staying the fuck away from her. He does not want to be near her just to keep her safe. And this guy, who's apparently very smart, very pragmatic, he's like, he notices that Suno's staying away from her, and then he decides, you know what, let me make a stupid fucking plan just to get them like really close together. Like, what the fuck are we doing? He didn't even fucking ask. He noticed, like, oh, that's selfish. And then he just tried to get them to get fucking near each other. If you're so fucking intelligent, maybe just ask. I don't. And if he doesn't want to tell you, maybe it's a good fucking reason he didn't want to tell you. I don't know. Also, this isn't really related to anything, but I want to say that at this book 2, as Jael, the same guy that's like super smart and pragmatic and great investigator, all that shit, he was he says halfway through this book that he did whatever he could to get ahead in the world. I think that he was by the time the book takes place, he's around 18 years old, maybe 16. I think he's 18 years old. Um, and he says he did whatever to get ahead. And I want to say he said he started doing that when he became like a captain of the army. Um, which I want to say he became like a captain 3 or 5 years before he was 18. And when he says he did whatever to get ahead, he actually says he did whatever. So if someone wanted him for his body and he could use that to blackmail, he did that. So he just like admitted he got fucking raped when he was a kid, and he used that to get ahead. And it's like, what type of world building is this? He got fucking raped if it benefited him, and you could say, oh well, actually he can say, fuck you. If you're one of those people who's like, oh, it's a fantasy world, and the age of consent, yeah, go fuck yourself. Actually, go fuck yourself. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't understand what the fuck that was about. Um, but yeah, I'm not talking about that one anymore. Uh, so I think a few chapters into the book, there is a tournament. Ren becomes, takes her spot as a princess, and she's not exactly leading the courts, but they're like, hey, she needs a bodyguard. Now she says, I want Sunho, but they're like, hey, we don't know who the fuck this guy is. We don't trust him. He needs to be vetted, and you know, there's going to be a tournament that takes place to find whoever's the strongest, smartest, best with swords and bows and whatever is going to be your bodyguard. Um, so Sunho joins. There's a few reasons why he doesn't why he doesn't become our bodyguard, but really he fucking the dumbest thing happens. We spend like 2-3 chapters on this tournament. I don't I think it was max like 2 chapters, but we spent like 2 chapters, 20 30. Fuck, actually it may have been three, like 30 20 30 20 30 pages just for this tournament, and the entire thing is completely fucking invalidated. It's they decide that they just choose a character. Something happens, Sunho gets kicked out, and it's by like the front guy, but the guy in front starts throwing like a fucking hissy fit, and uh they just pick someone else. So it's like, why go through this? Why the fuck? Like that guy won. He threw one hissy fit, and he's like, "Yeah, actually, you're not gonna be your bodyguard." Asuno was really fucking pissed about this guy being your bodyguard. You're not gonna be a bodyguard because you one fucking hissy fit. We're just gonna pick this bitch. It's like, what the fuck was the point? Why make me? Why waste 20-30 pages just to fucking have them pick someone else? I don't fucking care. I really don't care. Just have them say, you don't get a choice in this. We're giving you this bodyguard. It's the best in between what we want and what you want. Shut the fuck up. Deal with it. 5 pages max. Don't need to fucking waste my time with it. But yeah, later on in the book, they have I don't know what the so Serenia is at war with Volmar. They decide, hey, let's have discussions to actually make a truce. Let's talk about ending this war. And so the Volmarans send a delegation to come discuss peace for whatever fucking reason. And the Serenians have 3 army fronts. They have like, I think, a north, an east, and a west. For some fucking reason, uh, all of the commanders that are around go back to Serenia, back to the floating world, hundreds of miles away from the fucking front. Or yes, hundreds of kilometers But they're so far from the front. It's like, why fucking leave? Why leave? There's no point in leaving. Don't leave the front. Why the fuck are we pulling all the generals back? Why? Where the fuck did you guys even come from? I don't know. There's no point. Because if the delegation, the peace treaty falls through, that's that. You're back at war. I don't. It's fucking stupid. Um. Yeah. So this book, I don't know why, but really anything that is described in this book is gone over 2 or 3 times. And if it's gone over once in, let's say page 42, it's gone over 5 more fucking times by the time you read page 70. It's seriously, there was at the beginning of the book, Ren's talking about her mom and how her mom died, the queen, um, and what kind of led to that and what she thought led to that. And she tells herself at the beginning, I'm not going to be my mom. And she says that 20 million fucking times throughout the book, not only to herself, but to like the fucking court or the Senate that's like running everything. Is, I'm not gonna be my mom. I'm not my mom. You guys can't control me. And she tells herself, I'm not gonna be my mom. It's like, bitch, we fucking know you're not gonna be your mom. We fucking know. Shut the fuck up. It's like, you've said that already. We know. I don't know. It's like it is beaten over your fucking head. Some of these things, and it might be a thing of it being like a young adult thing, but I don't, it was really incredibly fucking annoying. Um, Character flaws, they don't exist, and if they do, they aren't really shown as problems or discussed at all later. And one thing, so I told you earlier that Sunho is staying away from Ren for personal reasons because he doesn't want to hurt her. Ren decides the only thing she wants is to get as fucking close to Sunho as possible, as physically fucking possible. She's like, I need you here. I need you. And she's not leaning on anyone else. Because she feels like alone, separate, but she's like so fucking selfish. She knows what Sunho went through and what happened when he got his memories back and what his memories revealed to him and what that caused him, the distress it caused him. And she's like, I don't care. I want you right fucking next to me. Even if it makes you fucking bad, if it makes you feel bad, or if it makes you feel like a fucking awful person, or if it makes you just feel fucking angry, and that other half, could possibly come out. I want you right fucking next to me. I don't care what you've been through. Just get fucking near me. And it's like incredibly. The only thing I could think of while reading it is she is incredibly fucking selfish for this. She's incredibly selfish for this because she's not leaning on anyone else. She's not leaning on her adoptive brother who got saved at the end of the book, book 1. She's not leaning on her childhood friend. She's not leaning on the fucking terrorist friends that she's not leaning on anyone. She's not fucking leaning on anyone other than Sunho because she wants to like. And again, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where it doesn't really feel like love. It's, I mean, I think a lot of it just kind of felt like lust to me. She's like, she just wants to get in his fucking pants, and she doesn't really care about him or his feelings or the shit that he's been through. She just wants to fucking get in there. It really made me so fucking mad. And then on top of that, there is a character, and I don't even know if this is one you would consider a character flaw. There is one character, it is her Ren's adoptive brother, and he is a fucking idiot. Throughout the entire book, he's an idiot, he's a fucking coward, and he doesn't listen to anyone. He doesn't. They'll tell him, hey, Ren is like feeling alone right now, or we have something to do. Sunho wants to get the fuck out of there. Jael knows that Sunho can handle himself, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go do this mission thing, and we'll be back. For whatever reason, and the only 3 people that I think are around are Jael, which is Ren's childhood friend, Sunho, which is the person with he doesn't want to be near Ren at the moment, and her adopted brother Wook, and she is feeling alone. She's like against the entire Senate. Half of them don't fucking like her. The other half are kind of ambivalent towards her, and she's just feeling so fucking separated and alone. And like it makes sense why she wants Sunho near, but she doesn't lean on anyone else other than Sunho. Um, but Jael and Sunho decide, let's go down, do this mission. We'll be back in like a day or two. This fucking this complete idiot decides to go with them. Her adopted brother, his name's fucking like Wook. I'll just say Wook. He decides, hey, I'm gonna hop on your fucking ship and go with you guys. I know I'm completely leaving Ren out to fucking dry, and she's gonna be all alone, but I'm just gonna go with you guys just because. And every single fucking time he goes with anyone, anywhere, he is a fucking liability. They go down into some dark caves, and he's like, oh, I'll be fine, and he's like scared of the fucking dark. What are you doing? No, you're not. Go the fuck back home. Don't. There's a fight that happens, and he doesn't know how to. I think he knows how to use a bow, but he doesn't really like kill anyone or do anything with it. And anytime there's really any combat, he's a liability. But he tries to get himself into these positions just to be saved and just to push a really shitty romance between Jael and Wook. And it would have been better if either one of them fucking cared for one another. Neither one of them fucking really cared. This guy just goes in just to be a little fucking damsel for Jael to save or Jael to help, and that's supposed to be a romance? This guy's a fucking idiot. I'd be fucking pissed off if I had to be fucking near him. His character pissed me the fuck off so bad. No, he would always do this. He would get himself in a scenario where he can't fucking handle it, cry, and then people would be like, "Oh, it's okay." No one got pissed off about that. It really made me fucking mad, especially when he's fucking leaving his fucking sister out to fucking dry completely. So again, this goes with the last point, not last point. The point I said at the in book one review, The Floating World, where Ren is really compassionate for some, and then she'll kill others, and I don't fucking understand, because this was used against her at the beginning of the book. I told you she is attacked by Volmarans. Her airship is boarded by the Volmaran airship. She's almost killed. During this attack, she sees a Volmaran with a arrow through his armor. By the way, they have fucking plate armor. Like they have like metal plate armor. And I want to say it used crossbows. And I know someone used a crossbow in this, and it like shattered. It shot straight through the plate armor. Crossbows don't do that unless it's like a really fucking big crossbow. It's not gonna do that, even if it's like 500 300. I think it's like 300-pound draw. It just does not have really much penetration power. But like that's why longbows are, I don't know, it's not fucking shooting through a plate armor. But she finds a Volmaran with an arrow through his chest, and she decides, let me go heal him. I'm gonna use my powers. I'm gonna make his pain easier, and she heals the guy, at least partially. He still has a fucking arrow in his chest. I swear to God, he still had an arrow in his chest when she healed him. But she shows a lot of compassion for that guy. And then later on, she goes and meets another Volmaran, not injured, but she decides to light him on fire and throw him in a room to burn to death. And she's supposed to be compassionate. She lit a man on fire and let him burn. Sick. So this is like genuinely the biggest problem I had with this book, is that really any problems are just hand waved away. They're not real problems. When it's introduced, huge fucking problem. When you actually 5, 10, 20 pages later, when you decide, Let's get to the root of this problem. Hand waved away. Serenia at war with Volmar. Well, at the end of the book, Serenia, the floating world gets destroyed. It gets destroyed in a fight. The island, all of its occupants, dead. Therefore, no Serenian government. Therefore, there's no more war. She doesn't have to be a princess anymore. You know, they want to control who Ren marries and who she's with. She just tells them to fuck off. The island gets blown up. Government's no longer there. Not a problem. It doesn't matter that the government, you know, like fucking has a bajillion troops or hundreds of fucking places it controlled. You know, cities and states that it controlled, because the government's just gone, and therefore everything will fix itself. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? No, I think the biggest one for me is Sunho has a problem. I told you he has a problem. The more he feels about Ren, the stronger his other half wants to fucking kill her. You know, the more it hates her. He has one conversation with Tag, and he's like, "Well, have you thought that, you know, you guys are like the same kind of person? Have you thought that the more you like her, the more the demon likes her?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, 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 that makes sense. Like I feel this like fucking sense of hatred. But yeah, yeah, he actually loves her too, and no longer a problem. And not only is that no longer a problem, but he can perfectly fucking control his powers now. Cool, cool, cool. Um. Oh yeah, for whatever reason, um, this will be a point later. I'll bring it back, but there's like two more points that I'm going to bring up that will kind of tie back in, and I'll tell you about them. It's after this point. The dialogue in this book is really no better. In fact, I think it gets fucking substantially worse. And not only between, I think I genuinely I think dialogue between Ren and Sunho is probably better in this book than before. But kind of overall, it's just not. It takes a fucking dip. It really takes a dip. For whatever reason, they had Yuri, just do like Marvel or Reddit humor the entire time she was on screen. Her dialogue was fucking awful, and I don't. She wasn't really like that. She's definitely different from book one, where she's way more fucking tolerable in that book. Um, but like for example, uh, Ren goes to some pools to go. She goes to take a dip in some pools, and these pools will give her access to go talk to her ancestors. She can't really control which ancestor it is, but you know, she goes and she sees a little girl, and the girl's about 8 years old, and she's like, hey, girl, you know, what's your name?" And I think this is the very first time she goes in these pools before she learns like all the rules to them. She's like, "Hey, girl, what's your name?" And the girl says, "Oh, it's Rena." And something I didn't tell you, but really any of the princesses, anyone of this bloodline, has, you know, a part of their has their name come from Serenia. So Ren comes from Serenia, and Rena comes from Serenia. It's, you know, it's kind of a part. You understand. But she goes up to this 8-year-old girl. She's like, "Hey, what's your name?" The girl says, "Oh, my name's Rena." And she like straight up fucking asks, "Rena's a diminutive of a Serenia, isn't it?" She uses the word diminutive. Diminutive? And it's like, if I were asked that, if someone asked me my name and I just gave them my nickname, because it's, you know, easier for people to say, and then they're like, "Oh, well, that name is a diminutive of your full name," I'd be like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" I would understand what it meant, but it's like, why the fuck are we talking to an 8-year-old using words like diminutive? What the fuck are we doing? I think dialogue overall in this book fucking sucks. It really does. Um, so going back kind of to the last problem and oh shit, I kind of forgot I had that. Um, oops. Yeah, new side characters, wasted ink. That was talking about Wook, and I talked about him already. But everything, this goes back to the point I was making earlier. Everything really needs to be bigger and badder. At the first book, there was I think one or two demons that they fight, and they like barely beat them. I think either anytime they beat them, they were like heavily injured, or they were running away. You know, fucking licking their wounds at the end. Uh, this needs to be bigger and badder than the last book. And what's the best way to make this book fucking just really, make you feel it? Um, is instead of one demon, how about we turn the entire Vomaran army into demons? There's thousands of demons now, and when they attack the underworld, it's like a one on one. It's like one demon per one guy, and they're just gonna fucking fight them one on one. Why? It's bigger and badder. Uh, what's even worse than thousands of demons? Having Ren's original ancestors like fucking corrupted corpse coming back and having fucking mind control abilities. She can like fucking hypnotize Ren. But like it's actually like really easy to fix because Ren can go to a pool and the pool has her uh, other ancestor who gives her the ability to block the hypnosis thing. The hypnosis thing is not actually a problem anymore, and she can now 1v1 her ancestor, and in the process destroy the floating world, and in the process make that not a fucking issue, and kill her with her powers. So last thing is partial transformations are fucking stupid. I do have a problem with partial transformations. Um, yeah, I really don't like them. As an example, during the book, uh, Sunho has a problem controlling his abilities. That's fine. Halfway through the book, he gets told, well, your demon actually doesn't hate her. Maybe he loves her. And then he can perfectly control his abilities. He can control them so much so that he can actually control what gets transformed. So he can do a partial transformation where everything's different except his stupid fucking face is on the face of the bird and bird creature that he turns into. So, for an example, if you had the ability to turn into this fucking oh fuck it. No, the notes disappeared. It's a cichlid. I want to say it's like a fucking balloon cichlid or something like that. I forgot. But if you had the ability to turn into this fish, like having a cost, having a price to that transformation, where let's say you for whatever reason you have scenarios where you can turn into this fish, and you know maybe it costs you something. Maybe every time you transform, it'll slowly turn you more and more into this fish. That's fine. It is a cost to the power. Perfectly acceptable. What's not fucking acceptable is having you at some point be able to fully fucking control this transformation and have you just transform whatever you fucking need from the animal. It's fucking stupid. It is genuinely fucking stupid. At any time there's a character that has powers, and then what's their power up? Oh, yeah, here's just like some random fucking animal part. Ooh, like, ooh, wow, it's so fucking cool. It's not. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid. Being able to control which fucking parts of your body are transformed and which aren't is fucking stupid. If you could turn into this fucking fish and you need to swim, yeah, let me turn my arms into fucking fins and my lungs into gills, and I'll just keep my fucking face. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. Um, but yeah, I so this book really made me mad. It made me so incredibly mad. Not because it felt not because I it was like just genuinely bad and the author's just a bad writer. Because if that were the case, I would understand. But I know for a fact she can write a good book. She can write a decent book. Because the book before, The Floating World, is a decent book. It is absolutely a decent book. This pissed me off because it just felt like she was doing it for cash. She decided, let me make The Floating World, and then her publisher or whatever told her, hey, why don't you can make more money if you make this into a duology. And she's like, fuck it, okay, let me write some shit up. This just felt fucking lazy. The entire thing felt lazy. And I got so pissed off with this book. About I think there's about 40 chapters, 40, 50 chapters in this book. I had to stop reading at chapter 27 because every single other fucking sentence I read one or two sentences, close the book, walk around for 10 minutes. I could not fucking read it. It hurt me. It physically fucking hurt me. And it's so fucking sad because I know she can absolutely write a good book. I know for a fucking fact because I just read one. I had chapter 27. I stopped reading the physical edition, and it really fucking sucks because I have all these books physically because I and if I'm gonna buy them, I'm going to read them, but I couldn't read this book, and I had to open Spotify and listen to it on 3x speed because I could not fucking handle it on 1 or 2x speed. And what made it worse was that the author or the narrator was British, so I had to listen to a fucking British person narrate, and that fucking hurt, but not as bad as reading the book. But yeah, I genuinely could not fucking finish this book if I had read it, and that's why it took me so long to actually read this book. It genuinely took me like a month or two to read this book because I just did not want to continue because it fucking sucked that bad. Because the author just, it felt like she didn't care at all. It really felt like she didn't care. So, yeah, this finally a book joins World War Z below the recommendation line. I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think it would happen so soon, but it's happened. So yeah, that's my review of the Floating World duology. Before the video ends, I do have one more thing for you guys to watch. So please, if you're at work or in public or whatever, or you're just listening to this, pull it up on your main screen and listen to this or watch this.
All right, today we got something extra delicious, nutritious, and bussin' for Jeff. We got apple banana peanut butter burrito. He's loves his burritos, so we're gonna try and flop roll this. Damn, look at that thing. Huge, massive burrito for Jeff. In the basket, as per usual, and he's down here, hungry, ready to go. All right. Look at the sign. Jeffy. That thing is huge. I don't know what he's... Oh, he grabbed the whole thing. Take a hit of that, buddy. That's banana apple peanut butter burrito. Your favorite. Your absolute favorite. Oh, he's just a burrito guy. Mexican Jeff. Is that delicious or what? Enjoy it, bud. You deserve it. You're special. Very special. No, he's in the banana now. He loves it. He's going in on this burrito. Good job, Jeff. Congratulations again on all your success on TikTok. You've been killing it.